Hi, I'm Becky, and this is Katie, and we're going to show you how to make a flower basket cake.
And this is brought to you by Charlie Watson of Lebanon Ford.
The things you need to make the flower basket cake are cake mix, icing bags, wax paper, toothpicks, some mini marshmallows, your different icing colors, your assorted icing tips, and a rose holder. Step 1 is to make your flowers, and you want to do that at least 3 days before you have to make your cake so they have time to harden. Otherwise you'll try to put them on the cake and they'll be too soft and they'll crumble all over the place. So Katie, for the first time, is going to make flowers, and the first flower that she's going to make is called a drop flower, and you use tip number 225, whatever color you want to use.
Like this.
And all you do is you're gonna just hold that, make sure the icing tip is on the wax paper.
Okay, so like this.
And then squeeze it. No, hold on. You want to make sure to hold the bag where it's knotted.
Okay.
Twist it so that the icing doesn't do that. Hold it right there.
Okay.
Make sure it's tight. Okay, now hold it down. Push. Hard. Okay, stop. Pull it up. And that's okay because you're just going to come in. You're going to use a tip number 3. And you're just going to fill that middle. And that's okay because you're just going to come in. You're going to use a tip number 3. And you're just going to fill that middle right in. And there you go. There's a drop flower.
Yay!
Like another one? Okay, the next flower we're going to make is a carnation. You use your flower nail and some wax paper. You use tip number 225 again. You just make a big circle, and then you use the same technique as the drop flower, and you just want to, all over where you made your circle, use the little flower technique, and it's okay if it's a little messy because it's how carnations are in the wild. The next flower is going to be the hyacinth, and you want to get a toothpick and 3 mini marshmallows and just put them on there like a kebab. And then we're going to use tip number 16. And all you're going to do is use the same technique as the drop flower, and you're just going to cover it, cover the whole thing in little stars. Almost there. It takes time. There you go. The last flower we're going to show you is definitely the hardest, and it's going to be the rose. You need the flower nail again, and tip number 104. And the first thing you do is you just make a little circle, and you want to make sure you have the fat part down, and you're going to make a little circle on the top. And then you're going to make 3 U shapes. And then you're going to go and make 5 and tilt the nail out a little bit. These really take a lot of practice and they don't always come out perfectly, but there you go. Okay, so you want to bake your cake and ice it, and it doesn't matter if it's not perfect because the whole thing is going to be covered with other icing. So the first thing you want to do is the basket weave around the edge of the cake, and you're going to use tip 47, and there's a flat side and a rippled side. You want the rippled side to be facing you, and you're going to start at the top and come down all the way down, and then you're going to make a line at the top. You want them to be about an inch or so apart, the straight lines down, And you want to leave enough room between the sew apart, the straight lines down. And you want to leave enough room between the horizontal ones so that the lines from the other side will be able to fit in there. And then you're just gonna, right next to it, you're gonna start another one. It's just like an over-under weave thing. And you're gonna go here now, and across, here, and across. And you can always go through and fix your imperfections once you get started a little bit more. And you're just gonna do that all the way around the cake. It's not very hard. It is time consuming though. Once you're finished weaving the basket, which it took us about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer because it's your first time is hard. And you want to go ahead on the bottom, use tip 21 and do your ruffle border. And you just start out with pressure and ease off. Turn your little thing. And you can do whatever border you want, but for the flower basket cake, I think the ruffle looks good on the bottom. And then we'll do the rope border on the top. After you do the basket weave, you want to arrange your flowers on your cake however you want to. And then you want to use tip number 233, the grass tip. And you just want to fill in all the places that don't have flowers all over. And you want to wait and add your drop flowers, the little ones, until you put the grass on, otherwise you won't be able to see them. And then you'll be done.
Okay, so when you're finished with the grass, the cake should look like this, finished product, and you can add a personal message on the side. Ours says Happy Mother's Day because Mother's Day is coming up. And this is a How to Make a Cake according to Becky Creech. And thanks to our sponsor, Charlie Watson up at Lebanon Ford. And if you like this presentation on how to make a cake, you can go to the bottom and like this video and vote for us.
Vote for us.